Hey, what's going on, champs? I'm Aaron Deliosa. Welcome to an Immigrant's Life podcast. My podcast about immigrants, immigration, and everything in between. And we are back for another episode. What's going on, guys? How are you guys doing? You know who it is. You know what it is. An Immigrant's Life at Instagram, Facebook, all platforms. And by the way, for the iPhone listeners, I'd appreciate it if you could give me a 5-star rating. Also, if you could leave me a quick positive review, that I'll appreciate that because that really helps the podcast and it'll boost us up. You know what I mean? And I want to take advantage of this time and I want to say thank you for the listeners that I've been seeing pretty much all over the world. We got listeners obviously here in Canada, US, Qatar, Brazil. There's some in Spain and different parts of the world. Hey, thank you for listening. Thank you for following. Reach out, man. If you want to say hi, I would love to hear from you. How you liking the podcast? Any input? Anything like that? I'd appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I want to check in on you. How you guys doing? How you dealing with this pandemic? They're rolling out the vaccine in some parts of the world. So that's a good thing. We're starting to see the end of the tunnel. But I know some of you are still stressed and still struggling how to deal and approach this pandemic. I hope you guys are finding ways to distress. Some people likes exercising. Some people likes reading a book. Some people likes going out for a bike ride if you can do a bike ride, or go hiking. Or if like me, your home feels more like the office, gym, and classroom than it does a home lately. My simple trick to bring calm into my space is to light candles. But did you know traditional paraffin wax candles are toxic and harmful to your health? That's why I use Driftwood Naturals 100% soy candles. You can fully relax with therapeutic essential oil scents. Plus, you'll rest easy knowing your family and home are safe with natural, clean, burning candles. Canadian-made, vegan, and eco-friendly. This is a product you can feel good to have in your home. For a limited time, my Canadian listeners can take an additional 10% off. You'll pay no taxes and get free shipping on orders over $80. Use promo code AIL10 on driftwoodnaturals.ca. Hurry, offers expires April 6. Driftwood Naturals, lighting the path for incredible stories of immigrants, immigration, and everything in between. And that's the business. Let's talk about the episode quickly. The guest for this episode is such an amazing and interesting individual. He's full of positivity and inspiration. He will make you believe that you can do amazing things by you just listening to him. So without further ado, let's get into the show. Isa, dalawa, tatlo. I'm grateful to have today's guest. He's a podcaster, a fitness coach, and a mindset coach. He's half Dwayne Johnson and half Dalai Lama. Everyone, please welcome Rome Mufalo.
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having me on your podcast, man. I'm looking forward to this.
Thank you. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Rome Mufalo. Originally, I'm from Zambia, and then I moved to Canada. I've been living in Canada now for 13 years. Yeah, I've been living in Canada 13 years, but originally Zambia. Moved to Ottawa, now live in Montreal. I work as a health and wellness coach. I used to personal train, but I don't personal train anymore, actually. My whole focus is on nutrition coaching online. And slowly I find myself branching off into mentoring a lot now because of what I do. I'm also in network marketing. So I catch myself going into mentoring a lot because of my business. So I coach in your health and wellness, but as well also coach in mindset as well, because life is all about mindset.
That's right. Perfect. We'll get to that later. Yeah. So you mentioned that you're originally from Zambia.
Yeah, originally from Zambia, Lusaka, the capital.
How would you describe Zambia to the listeners?
It's very friendly. I think people from my country are too friendly sometimes. Like I swear, I tell people this, like if you get on a plane and you say, where should I go up? Like, just get on a plane to Zambia. And if the person next to you is from Zambia, tell them this. I don't know where I'm going to stay when I get to Zambia, and I'm trying to figure it out. 10 out of 10 times, I promise you, they'll probably say, come live with me. Straight up.
Really?
That's how friendly they are. They'll be like, come live with me. Or if not, they'll pull strings for you just to make sure you get the right accommodation, you know? If you meet that bad person next to you on the plane, that means that's just your energy. You attract that negativity. But overall, Zambia is I think we're too friendly sometimes, way too friendly.
Why do you think is that?
I think it's cultural upbringing. I think it's how we grew up. We have this very strict way of growing up to respect other people. Like as a kid growing up from the age of 4 or 5, I knew respect your elders, respect other people. So even just in life in general, whenever I'm around anybody, that inner child comes back where I just respect everybody I'm talking to, especially if they're older than me. I always respect them no matter what.
That's awesome. Yeah, I did some research, well, Googling about Zambia, because I'm not going to lie, I didn't know anything about it, right? And it said that Zambia is generally a safe country to go to.
Yeah, you could say it's right now, from what I've heard in the news, the politics, it's safe, but not what it used to be, from what I've heard people say. Because I haven't been to Zambia in over 8 years. But is it a safe place? From what I remember, 100%. It's a safe place. But like anywhere in the world, there's a little bit of crime, but it's rare that I actually hear somebody has been through something traumatic, like being robbed or something like that. If it does, it's like once every 20 years, you hear something crazy like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So how was it growing up in Zambia for you?
Well, I liked it. I loved it. I always say it made me who I am today, because when you grow up in Zambia and then you move to Canada, it's like coming to a different planet. It's two different worlds, you know? So growing up in Zambia, I say it made me, that's what I always say, whenever I'm in Montreal and I see someone bitching about life and I want to complain too, I always stop and say, wait a minute. I grew up privileged in Zambia. Fortunately, I grew up on the privileged side, you know, so I didn't grow up poor. But whenever I'm about to bitch, I always stop and I say, nah, you shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, you need to stop right now. You know, whenever I put bitch about school, like, I grew up in the privileged side of Zambia. Like, my parents had money. But, you know, like, we working with computers, we did all that stuff. So when I hear people complain about stuff, I think growing up in Zambia has made me become more grateful, more appreciative of life.
That's
like,
beautiful.
I don't take it for granted as much anymore. I'm very like, okay, I want to bitch. Things are not good, but I close my eyes and I look. When I grew up, this happened. I remember that situation in school. Let me just shut up. That's how I am.
What kind of situation in school was it?
Let me think, because primary school is good. Like, there's nothing. Let's see. If I had to go, let's say middle school. Middle school was good. But there's those little things that you never notice, right? Like growing up, when you grow up in Zambia, you know, what people here take for granted. Like, for example, in Zambia, using computers, we had a lot of computers in the classroom, but it would be like 3 people on one computer. I come here, if 2 people are using one computer, they get mad. How come I can't have my own computer? But for us, like if for 3 of us in the computer, no big deal, you know?
It is what it is.
But here, people showed up at school, they get mad at that. You know, little things like that. So if you had asked me that, it's just, I think when you grow up in Zambia and you come to Canada, it's 2 different worlds that's normal to us. That when you come here, when people complain about stuff that you never complained about, stuff that you wanted, it's like, why are you complaining? That's how I look at stuff, you know?
Yeah, like, oh, you're complaining about your car that you can actually drive?
Yeah, exactly.
You're complaining about your apartment that's actually safe. There's no bed bugs.
Yeah, like I remember one time I was with a friend. I was talking to somebody one time, and I said, you know, where you live right now as a teacher, I said to someone, if you go to Montreal North, I'm talking the worst part of Montreal North, and you got a teacher who was, let's say, in one of the poor parts of Zambia, and you brought them to Montreal North, and you didn't tell them this was the hood, 10 out of 10, they would love it. To them, they'll be like, wow, I can't believe this is where they'll be like sending pictures to their family. When they see other people in the streets, they'll be like, I don't get it. They'll be the most positive person, because to them, it's like, oh, you think you're suffering? Okay, let me take you where I'm from as a teacher. Living in a mud hut, living with only 1 bathroom, whatever it is. I always tell people that, like, you have no idea. You gotta be grateful.
I love it. I love what you said there, because you know that saying, I'm not saying the song New York, New York by
Yeah,
Frank Sinatra. The
yeah, yeah.
If you make it here, you can make it anywhere. Really? Have you been to Zambia? Have you been to the
Exactly,
Philippines? We'll
exactly.
see.
100%, bro. 100%. I agree with you.
That's funny. So you mentioned that you guys were well to do in Zambia.
hmm
However, you still moved to Canada. Why?
hmm Well, when I was done in high school, my mom asked me, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? I planned to stay in Africa because I was saying, okay, well, the universities in Zambia are not that good, but South Africa, which is like 2 hour flight away, they were much better. So my whole thing was, well, I'll just go to South Africa because I love South Africa. I'd been there many times, and it's a beautiful country. So my original plan was to move to South Africa, stay close to home, and that was it. But I was at the time I was like 19. My mom, I always say my mom is a visionary. She can see stuff. So she says, no, you're not staying in Africa. You're gonna go a different part of the world so you can explore different cultures. So
Mm.
as a kid, I'm like, okay, so where do I go? And she's like I said, my parents had money. So my dad said, wherever you want to go, I'll pay. So I had England, which was an option. My
What is
brother
this,
was there.
Coming to America movie or what?
Kind of close. But I had family in England. My brother sister lived there, but I wasn't as close to them. And I was like, England, I don't know. It just never appealed to me. Australia, I had family there. I was like, in the middle of nowhere. Maybe I could go there. USA, thank God I never went there with what's happening. But I almost did. I was like, the USA, I'm like, but when I heard Canada, it was something about Canada I can't describe. I had a friend who was here, and I was always like looking at his pictures on back in the day. If you remember, with High Five before Facebook,
Yes.
yeah, I was always watching his clips, snow. And I'm like, I want to go to Canada, but there was an energetic pull that brought me to Canada.
Mm.
So when people say, "Why'd you come here?" I'm like, I don't know. Like I had all these options. My dad had the money, so I just chose Canada, flew here, and like I said, my mom said, "I want you to move to a different part of the world so you can see different culture." Could have been China for all I know. So that's what made me come to Canada. With my mom, actually.
When you moved to Canada, who did you stay with?
Oh, when I moved, no, I lived on residence when I moved to Canada.
What is that?
Dormitories, like where you come in, when you get to college, like you have a dormitory where you can stay and sleep. So
Oh,
it's called a residence.
so you went to school and stayed in the dormitory.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And you were 19. So you were by yourself, you said, right?
Yeah, I came here by myself. I went to Algonquin College in Ottawa.
How did that work? Like they contact the school and then somebody pick you up at the airport, or?
They could have. They could have. It's just when I chose to move to here, my friend was already in Ottawa. So at the airport, they had the option, like we could arrange someone picks you up, but I was like, it's all good. My friend, actually one of my childhood friends lived in Ottawa. So I'm like, of course he's going to pick me up. So I got to the airport, he picked me up, and then he helped me shop, settle down, everything.
That's amazing. At least there's someone with you. And he went to the same school?
No, he went to a different school.
Okay. That's awesome, man. So how did you feel when you landed and those first day being in Canada?
First thing I said when I landed, I remember I came from Germany, the plane was coming, and all I knew about Canada, because they don't, back then, 13 years ago, they never taught you much about Canada besides there's wheat and it's cold. That's it. That's all I swear to God, that's all I knew. But the USA, I knew a lot about it because of hip hop, TV. So when I touched down in Montreal the first time, and I remember just looking outside and I said, why is it so white? Because I'd never seen snow before. I'd never seen snow. And I remember looking at cars and there was these like white things dropping off the cars. I couldn't comprehend that was snow. like that was ice. I knew it was snow, but I was like, why does it look like that? But I was like, okay, whatever. So my friend, catch the flight from Montreal to Ottawa. My friend picks me up, and then from there went to the bar and everything. But I remember when I sat, because he picked me up, we get in the bus to like going now, to his place. It didn't sink in that I was in Canada. It's like I'm here, but there was no like aha moment. It was just like, okay, I haven't seen this guy in over 4 years. I'm in Canada. Okay, for me, I was like a party. My parents are far away. I'm 19. I'm by myself. I have $3,000 in my pocket. Let's go.
That's amazing. So you seem like a positive guy, but I'm sure you were homesick too.
Never. I wanted to leave so bad at one point because I remember as I was getting older, I was like, I want to leave. Like, I love Zambia, but all my friends were leaving. I had no friends left. Like my friend went to England, went to the USA, went to Australia. So when I left, I missed my family, of course, a little bit, but I wanted to leave so bad because I always tell one of my friends this. I was like, I feel like I was born in Africa, but in my past life, I lived in North America. So when I came here, it was like I don't think I ever got homesick.
Really?
Like I don't remember ever going through a phase of sadness. Like I was like, okay, I'm good here. I never got homesick.
Wow. So you felt at home instantly.
Yeah, yeah. And when I moved here, I made friends right away because at the college I went to, there was a lot of people from Zambia going there. So like I'm talking the first day I was there, like I saw a guy and I'm like, he's definitely from Zambia.
You can
Like I
smell
just
him.
saw the guy. I heard him talk. I'm like, you're from Zambia. He's like, you too. I'm like, party.
Let's go.
Oh, by the way, there's another guy. There's another guy. There's another guy. Whoa, we're like 15 of us.
Oh,
Cool party.
that's
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. So I never felt homesick though. But obviously, as life has it, those guys are not really my close friends. I made other friends.
that's awesome. So you went to that school. Did you finish it?
Yeah. I finished everything. I finished with masters and yeah,
What was it? What
all the
did
way.
you take?
Business, but I majored in human resources.
Okay, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
which is the worst thing of my life.
Why?
It's the worst thing because I never liked school as a kid growing up. I came to I was always the athlete growing up as a kid, so I always wanted to play sports. So my mom always had a different future for me. So myself as a kid, I should have played professional soccer. I should have been going to Europe, but my mom saw me as a banker. Making go to school, graduate, get a job.
Professional.
So yeah. So when I went to school, I graduated, but I hated it. Like I hated waking up every day to go to school. But at the time, this is life. And I always used to say to myself, like, this is life. Like you just gotta get up and go to school. And I hate what I do. I hate studying. Like I genuinely hate studying. If you tell me to study right now, it's like pulling teeth, but I had to do it,
Yeah.
And then I graduated. So I was happy, but at the end of the day, like I didn't even use the degree I had. Because I got it. I got a good job. And then fast forward, another job appeared that I liked, which paid less, but was what I liked doing fitness. I took that job right away.
Oh. Was that in Ottawa or?
Ottawa.
Okay. Why did you move to Montreal?
Well, the thing is, Ottawa, I was in a relationship for 7-8 years. Yeah, 7-8 years. And then I remember with my ex, was sitting down at the time. I met her when I was 19. So I think we broke up when I was like 26 at the time. And I remember saying to her, I remember saying to myself, like I said it to, when you've been in a relationship from 19, when you're just becoming a man, just put it like that, and 26, that's what I always tell guys, don't date from 19 to 26, have fun, get that shit out of your system. But I was in a relationship, which is fine, but I started to realize that there were certain things I wanted to do that I couldn't do because I was in a relationship. And I didn't want to hurt her. So I'd go out with my friends and there's girls coming, but I got a girlfriend. I can't be a bad boy, And I started to feel like, you know what? I love this girl, but I don't want to be that guy at 40 years old or 50 who looks back and says, damn, I missed out on a lot of things, So I say to her straight up, I was like, look, and by the way, I was coming to Montreal like every weekend just to party with my friends, because they used to drive down. So I say to her, I'm like, look, I love you, but I think I need a break from us. And I think I want to move to Montreal, which is because I want to pursue my career in health and wellness. But I think if we break up, it's best if I actually move to a different city. So that's how the transition happened, because it was either Toronto or Montreal. Now, Toronto was far. I never liked the vibe in Toronto too much. I've been there before. I thought, man, it's not for me. So Montreal's a no-brainer. So that's how I ended up moving here to pursue it sounds like I came for girls, but no. Was to pursue my career in health and wellness and just like, you know what, let me try a different city. So literally I was like, okay, Ottawa was not the best platform to grow for what I wanted. So I chose to move to Montreal.
And you were mentioning health and fitness. You're a jack dude. You're like a truck.
Right, not anymore, but with COVID, 2 months, no gym, I've lost 12, 13, 14 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, but if, let's say I don't know you and we get into a fight, I'm pretty sure you'll kill me. All right?
I'm a giant. I've never, what's funny? I've never been in a fight before.
Oh, yeah? Wow.
Never been in a fight.
Good
I've had
guy.
Arguments, but like a fist fight, never in my life. And knock on wood, I back up. Like I'm that kind of person. I don't believe in violence, like, fighting. Like fight with words, but if it's escalating, I'm like, you know what, it's not worth it.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
back up.
Good for you. Yeah. That's that Zambia in you.
Yeah, we back up. Like, nah.
That's awesome. So you said health and fitness, and you're a trainer.
Yeah.
When did that start?
Oh, I've always loved it. From Ottawa, I was training a few people in Ottawa, and then when I moved to Montreal, it really took off when I came to Montreal. And then I was like, okay, let's get this show started.
Why in Montreal it took off?
Because now I was very intentional. This is what I want to do, be a person. At the time, this is what I want to do, be a personal trainer in Montreal, help people get healthy. Because it's what I did as a kid. I was the athlete. So for me, it was like no brainer. Okay, let's be a personal trainer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What do you like about living in Montreal?
Besides the women?
Oh yeah, they're
true story. The women. Everybody tells me, what do you like about Montreal? The women. First thing I always say. Then I'm like, and I like the French people. People say the French people are a little bit mean. I'm like, maybe it's your energy. Like, if someone's mean to me, I'm just like, whatever. You know what I mean? I don't let it get to me. But I like the people in Montreal. Most people that I meet in Montreal are genuine good people. Obviously there's bad people, but I like the women. I like the city is beautiful. Like every summer when I'm in Montreal in the summer, I'm like, you live in a good city when even the Montreal people say, I love Montreal. That's when you're in a good city. So overall, I like everything about the city, the people, the vibe, the culture, everything.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You mentioned something about negative energy and negative people. Have you ever suffered from people making you feel unwelcome?
Since moving to Montreal?
Yeah. Even in Ottawa, I guess.
Yeah, racism I've experienced in Ottawa. The cops pulled me over once. I remember that. But, my take when it comes to stuff like that is if the cops pull me over, I'm just quick. Here. I just give them what they want. License, drive. I'm just like, here, just take it. The sooner I leave, the better. And I believe when you can do it that quick, it breaks their program. They might think, oh, it's a black guy. Maybe I'm going to say something. I'm so quick. I'm like, hi, officer. Thanks for pulling me over. Here you go. And I just wait. They brought it back. You can go, thank you. And I was out. You know what I mean? So that's how it is. If I ever felt unwelcome, there's two ways I look at unwelcome. Sometimes that person is just a negative person. And there's some people who you could call what you call racist, right? So if I ever experienced racism in Montreal, I probably have, but I always change my perception and I just say, it's just a negative person. So I don't say they're racist. They probably are, 100%. They probably are some people, but I never focus. I never like say, oh, it's a racist person. I just go like, probably a negative person, whatever. But I've never blatantly felt like, I've never blatantly felt like someone hated me because of the way I look. But I think at the end of the day, it will happen where energy travels. So if you walk into a situation and walking in the street, you come into a home, you might feel unwelcome. But like I said, myself, no, not really. Not that I could remember. It might hit me later, like, oh, that one time. But I'm the kind of person that lets go of stuff real quick. So no, not that I can remember like off the top of my head right now.
Do you have friends that are like so, I don't know, very adamant on, there's racism, don't let it go? Do you have friends like that?
Yeah, a lot. Like I know it's there. For me too, I 100% believe racism will never go away. That's what I say. That's why I always say, unfortunately, some people have to be the guinea pigs of what racism can do. Like, if a cop does something not right, it raises the awareness, let people know, like, we're human beings as well. This is not cool, So I have a lot of friends who strongly believe in it. And sometimes I tell them, like, look, maybe the person's not racist, maybe they're just negative.
I like that.
I always say, like, sometimes you want to look at it from that point of view, To me, like I say, if I met you and you went through a breakup and I asked you for your phone and you're like, bro, I can't help you, doesn't mean you're racist. It means you're going through a breakup, you're pissed off. But see, I could interpret that as fucking racist prick. I'll keep walking, But is racism there? 100%.
Yeah, for sure. So let's pivot a little bit. This one thing I wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah.
You mentioned to me that you tried to commit suicide a few times?
Yeah, 5 times.
5 times.
Yeah, 5 times. Clearly God has a plan for me.
Why? What happened? Let's start with the first one. What happened the first one?
Oh, simple. I moved to Montreal. No, first off, anyone listening to this, if you're gonna move to a city, make sure you got enough money. But anyway, I moved to Montreal to pursue my dream, health and wellness. Thought I was gonna work, get a job automatically. Didn't go as planned, and then so many negative things were happening at once that I got so overwhelmed that when you get overwhelmed, now to answer your question, yes, I did feel homesick when I was going through my depression. When you're getting overwhelmed with so much negativity, bills coming up, no friends to talk to. And when I moved to Montreal, it was January 2016 or 15 when I moved here. Like, so it was cold. It was like cold that time, you know? And when it's cold, people get more depressed. There's no sun. You can't go outside. So I remember my first real depression. I had a job. I was working. I won't say the company name, but I was working for this store downtown. I loved it. You know, it was a good job, but I was really going through so much stress and I didn't speak French. And, you know, I always tell people, be careful the kind of conversations you have with people. So I had this fear in my head, put in my head that if you don't speak French, the French police are going to come after you. The Quebecers hate that. But I was in St. Catherine, Montreal, probably the most English part of Montreal, you know? But I didn't know that, of course. I was new to the city. So I remember one time going into work and feeling all this pressure, like I got to speak French. I'm already anxious. And then my boss was pushing me as well to work hard. So it became so much like you're broke, you can't speak French, you might get fired. What could happen? No mom, no dad. So it was all this stuff that I remember one day I was taking at the time French classes, by the way, too. I drove home and I go home and I was like, there's no way I'm going to work. I hate my boss and he's a dick, that's what I said. And I was sitting there and then this guilt just flooded me all of a sudden. And I was sitting in my house. I'm like, I can't live no more. So true story, I actually drove back to Ottawa to go beg for my job back, like literally on my knees, beg for my job back. Yeah, I drove back. I told my boss I couldn't make it that day. I drove back to Ottawa. I knew everybody in Ottawa at the company I work for. I'm like, listen, man, I want to get my job back. I hate Montreal. It's the worst city in the world. Please take me back. And at the time, one of the managers there who could have given me a job was a big dick. Thank God he said no, I always say. But he says, look, man, even if we do a transfer again, it's going to be a little bit hard. You got to wait maybe a month. I'm like, listen, I'll work anywhere. I don't care how many hours you give me. I have a car. I can drive different parts of the city. I don't care. They said no. And then I was like, fuck. I remember getting into my car and driving back to Montreal. And as I was getting on the highway, same day, yeah, wow. 2-hour drive, back and forth. I remember even that day I almost drove to my ex's home to like go cry to her, like, listen, man, I'll come stay with you. Yeah, but I didn't do that, you know? I remember that time I was driving back to Montreal and I remember I just felt this sense of guilt kick in. I remember I was crying while driving back, come back to Montreal. And then I saw a license plate that says, have faith. So the weirdest thing, I'm getting on the highway and this car comes in front of me. And then this license plate says, have faith. And the car goes straight. I go off the highway. And I started crying. I drove. I was like, this is the worst thing. I had a good job in Ottawa. I had a house. I had a girlfriend. I had a dog. I'm so stupid. How could I do this? It was probably the longest 2-hour drive because I was literally going 80 kilometers an hour. Like, I don't want to get to Montreal. I don't want to get to Montreal. I was like, if a truck could hit me now, I'd be happy. Anyway, got to Montreal. I look in my bedroom. I was like, I'm going to kill myself. I can't do this no more. I didn't even know where the thought came. I saw a bottle of wine on the table. I saw a bunch of pills of ephedrine and stuff like that. It makes your heart race. I was like, game over. I'm going to do it. So grabbed those pills. I was like, whatever. I literally chugged them. It was like, I don't even know how many it was. And one ephedrine makes your heart race. 2 ephedrine, 3, you're pushing it. And ephedrine is what they used to make meth, but it's legal in Canada. You can buy it from anywhere in the store. It's legal. But in the US, if they catch you with ephedrine, that's 10 years in jail because you can make meth with that, right? But it wasn't illegal, so it was just there. So I remember I bought some meth. I bought some ephedrine, and then I just popped them. I don't even know how many I took. But I remember when I was taking them, I had this fear, like, I'm not going to do it. But I took them, chugged the bottle of wine, and I just sat there. I was like, all right, anytime now, anytime. Come on, kick in. Heart's going to start racing. And then I had this guilt come over me, and I remember just saying, nah, this is not right. So I went on my phone real quick, found suicide prevention line, whatever. I called up the girl and we're talking on the phone. She was super nice. I probably never meet her. And she's like, where do you live? Like, I can't tell you. But in that moment, you know, she was really patient. Though whoever she was really patient. I pretty much said, you know what, fuck it. This is where I live. Come help me, whatever. Yeah, so I heard the ambulance coming and everything. And then I went downstairs. The paramedics came, like, you okay? Are you Rome? Like, yeah, I'm Rome. Okay, listen, we got to take you to the hospital. And that was the first time.
Wow. Why did you have the ephedrine?
Oh, at the time, okay, I'll give you a little trick in the fitness world. If you want to cheat to lose body fat, but I'm not gonna give the antidote. But if you use ephedrine and something else, you could drop body fat like that. So when people say I want to lose body fat, I'm like, why are you stressing? Just do this and you'll be good. I don't do it no more. If anyone listening, I've stayed clean after that. I don't touch that stuff.
So you survived that attempt. What happened to the second one?
You know, there's so many I actually lose track. When was the second one? Second one. Because I'm trying to think. I remember my last one.
Okay, yeah, let's just do the last one then.
Yeah. The last one I was arguing with my ex-girlfriend because I went through the mental breakdown lasted about 2 years. Because I remember even seeing a psychologist and I ended up not seeing that person. The second one, I was arguing with my ex-girlfriend about something. And I remember I went to the kitchen. I was so enraged. I grabbed the glass, banged it, grabbed the knife on the kitchen counter. I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to stab myself. And I did the up motion and brought it close, but something stopped me. And then I just dropped the knife and I walked out the house. And then the police came. I thought I was going to go to jail. I was so scared. I'm like, oh my God, what did she tell the cops? But the cops say, listen, sir, she called us because she thinks she's worried for you. So we just got to take you to the hospital to make sure everything's okay. And when I went to the hospital, they checked me out. They're like, this is your 5th time coming here? That's when I knew. I'm like, I got to change.
Wow. So when you said that you were about to stab yourself and something stopped you, I just want to be a devil's advocate. People could interpret that as, oh, that's just a plea for help.
Yeah, I think it was too. I think at the end of the day, I was going through so much pain. Like that 2-year period, everybody I met thought I was the most positive person. But when I went home, it was just like, it was torture. I'm like, what the hell's going on? You know? Like, what is going on? Like, you know, you try to be positive and nothing's working. So yeah, so it was a cry for help. But I always tell people this, like, you can't be a victim to life. I had to start taking the steps to change my life.
Going back to what you just said, that you're trying to be positive, but you're still like going down. That's called depression. That's what depression is. It doesn't matter how happy you could be watching the funniest guy alive. I don't know, like Dave Chappelle. It doesn't matter. You will still feel down because you are depressed.
100%.
You know?
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you went to a psychologist. Why didn't you think that worked?
It was boring. Like, they ask me dumb questions, you know? Okay, so tell us about yourself. Because the thing is, I read a lot of books, you know? So when I'm talking to a psychologist, like, let's go, you know, I'm ready, you know? I'm not saying I'm better than them. It's just at the time when I was seeing the psychologist, she said, okay, this is my student. She's practicing to be a psychologist. So we're going to ask you a few questions. I was like, all right, let's do it, you know? I remember when I left the office, I'm like, I don't feel empowered at all. And at the time I was taking antidepressants. I stopped taking them by myself.
Okay. So after all those darkness that you went through, what helped you come out from that?
Meditation, 100%. Meditation and reading and listening to positive personal development stuff. But the first thing that worked was meditation. I did Vipassana, however you want to pronounce it. It's a 10-day silent retreat. You don't talk for 10 days. That was the first part. And then after that, I did Inner Engineering by Sadhguru. That was the second meditation I did. And ever since then, I've just been doing a lot of meditation and listening to a lot of positive stuff in my head when I'm walking, reading books about personal growth. So I believe it was a combined effort of everything, meditation and reading books.
Who suggested the meditation?
One of my friends, I saw he changed. He used to be crazy, like he was successful, but crazy. And I remember looking at him one day and he was so calm, so zen, very successful, very rich, beautiful family. And I was like, I want that, you know, just that peace of mind he has. So I asked him, yo, dude, what did you do? I've seen you change your life. And he said, I started to meditate. I was like, meditate? I do that too. He says, listen, you don't know how to meditate. You have to go get taught how to meditate. Going on YouTube or sitting down, that's not meditation, Rom. You got to go do the real meditation. And that's how come I did Vipassana.
And that 10-day retreat of no talking, where did you go?
Montebello, right up. It's Vipassana is everywhere, but in Quebec, it's in Montebello.
Is it free?
Yeah, it's free. They don't charge.
How do you sign up?
Just go online, Vipassana in your area. They'll find it. It's free. It was started by Gwenka, by Buddha, actually, many years ago. It's from India. It's all over the world. Vipassana is free all over the world. They feed you. You're there for 10 days. They take care of you. But it's a very... I tell everybody this. If you're going to do Vipassana, make sure you're not in a good mind state, but it's very tough because for 10 days you don't talk. You face every demon. You sit for 1 hour straight and you meditate 8 hours a day. It sounds fun. Women love it. Women love it. Men, it can be challenging, you know? So I tell everybody, like, everybody has to do it at least once. You're going to face a lot of stuff.
What do you mean face a lot of stuff?
Yeah. Well, Vipassana is pretty much mental surgery. So a lot of people struggle with change, you know? Where with Vipassana, you go to the root cause of all this shit that you've experienced. Like, you go to the root. So when I say the root, like you pluck the root out and it's going to hit you like a ton of bricks. And you got to get ready. But they'll train you when that happens, what to do. So you're not going to freak out. You're not going to have a panic attack. You just become aware that, oh, shit, that's just an energy I have stuck in me trying to come up. And if you can face it and not react to it, that's the work with Vipassana.
How do they train you?
You got to go and see it.
Okay.
But it's pretty much 10 days. They'll train you a step by step. Day 1, you focus on your breath and your nose. Day 2, day 4, 5, go from there. But the first time I did Vipassana, I left after 5 days because I got too dark, too negative, too much stuff was coming up. I got a panic attack. I left at midnight. I told the guy, like, listen, I got to go. He's like, listen, no, because I couldn't sleep. I was having nightmares. So too much stuff was clearly coming up. I was having the worst nightmares. I was even afraid to sleep. That's how bad it was.
Wow.
And I told the guy, like, listen, man, I got to go. He's like, why? I'm like, I'm experiencing all this thing. My heart's racing. I have anxiety. He's like, oh, it's working. Good. I'm like, it's not working good. I think I'm about to die. I have to go. And I remember even like during the meditation, I was in so much pain mentally. I was like, I can't do this. But that's the work, you know? And then fortunately, the guy let me go because you can leave whenever you want. I left at midnight. There was snow, a snowstorm, took the snow off my car. I literally, like a prisoner, ran away from there. And then I went back.
Wow.
Yeah.
What made you come back?
I had to. You come back. He even said, listen, man, the wound is open. It's going to take some time before it closes up. Now you're more receptive to negativity. I got to go, man. Second time was April, because that was December, first time I went. Then April, my friends wanted to go. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I got to go back. My friends are going. I'm going to go. So this time I went back. When you're with your friends, you can't leave. Because number one, one of them was giving me a ride back. So I'm like, even if I want to go, where am I going to go? So crap, I got to stay now.
You got fucked.
Yeah, no choice.
So there are different kinds of meditation, right? There's some that says, let the thoughts come in and let it come out. There's some that says, make your mind empty. Which one do you practice?
I just let the thoughts come. Yeah, there's so many though. It depends. Honestly, it depends. If I feel like I'm holding on to, okay, now I do Dr. Joe Dispenza meditation, which is I say it's a little bit advanced, but very easy to do. So I always tell people with meditation, there's walking meditation, there's eating meditation, cleaning meditation, there's Vipassana, you could sit still. So the one I'm doing right now, I do the Chakra Meditation every morning. That's what I do. And then I do another one where I just focus on the present moment. So it depends how I'm feeling. So I switch it up.
Can you explain the chakra process?
So chakra meditation is simple. We have energy centers in our body. So we have 8 chakras. So now each center has a mind of its own. So someone might be like, what do you mean? For example, the first center is your center of creativity, right? So if you want to be very creative, you go to that center. But if it's been knocked out of balance, for example, someone who's experienced sexual trauma, or someone who's overly sexed, or any kind of trauma down there, they'll find they're not as creative as they should be. The second energy center is the one that's responsible for holding on to guilt, shame, lack, victimization. So you find people trying to be positive to change. But when that center is activated, you feel more safe in your environment, meaning it helps you overcome certain things. The third center is for willpower. So that one's actually for people who have a lot of ego issues, control issues, or you find people say, I just don't have the motivation, And then if you go up, there's the heart chakra, the throat, pineal gland. There's the 7th one here on the front of the forehead and the car at the top, right? So if you could start to bless those energy centers, it helps, number one, raise the energy of your body. So what I mean is, a lot of people might say, what does that mean? If you bless each of those centers, you might notice your state starts to change. So you might feel, you've ever had those days when you just feel good and things just happen, right? Now, a lot of us wait for something external to happen. Hey, here's $1 million. Oh my God, your state has changed. But what if you could change that internally? Some people say, I need a beer to change my state, right? Or I need something out there to happen. Now, what happens is that if you keep if you don't master your energy, all these centers get knocked out of balance. So you find you can get the thing you want, you can get the job you want, you can get the mortgage, but instead of paying off the mortgage in 30 years, if you raise your energy, you might get a good idea and you might pay off the mortgage in 1 year. So what I mean by that is, for example, if you got the first energy center, they always say men have two brains, one up here, one down there, right? Get it? But that's energy, right? If that center is activated and you bless it you bless it back to life, and you start to raise the energy up there, you might notice your creativity is
Yeah, it's
much
called Viagra.
yeah, there you go. That works too, right? So that one's gonna raise your creativity. If you go to the second energy center, if you've been holding on to victimization because something happened to you in the past and you can't overcome that situation there, if you could bless this center for, I'll say, for about a month or a couple of weeks, some people do it right away, you might notice you're more courageous in taking action. You're not holding on to the pain from the past. The third center is when people say, I have no willpower to move forward. If you could start to bless that center every single day, you do the meditation, do the work, you might notice, okay, somehow I have motivation to do stuff. How come I'm attracting things into my life? Where is these ideas coming from? It's because your energy is flowing up and down.
How do you bless it?
There's a meditation by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Dr. Joe Dispenza's work is very different. You have to study his work, number one. And Dr. Joe, long story short, he's a man who he healed himself, and people who've had like stage 4 cancer, like, okay, listen, bro, you're going to die tomorrow. So you're going to die in a week because medical professionals failed you. And this has been proven. They'll go do Dr. Joe's work and they'll get cured, done by themselves, nothing. But when Dr. Joe started to do that, because first he healed himself, and then he said,
what do you mean healed himself? Who is this, Wolverine?
Pretty much, yeah. So he was riding his bike one time. He was doing like a Tour de France, not riding his bike. He got into an accident and he broke his spine in, I think it's T4, T5, but broke it, shattered. Like, you can never walk again. Done, game over. And he was already what's he call this? A physiotherapist. He was already practicing medicine and stuff. So they told him, like, look, you could never walk again as long as you live. You can never walk again. The best we could do for you is maybe do surgery to put you in a wheelchair. And he even said, because he knew what happened, he knew how the body worked. He was a physiotherapist. He looked at his X-ray. He even said, I could never walk again. This is humanly impossible. But he had always been fascinated with how the human body works. So despite all his friends, professionals telling him, listen, man, you have got to do the surgery, he said no. He said, no, I'm going to try something for the next 3 months. I'm going to try something. Okay. But you're never going to walk again. And he used to lay on his hospital bed and he used to picture himself walking again. And he used to, like, by himself. No one taught him how to do it. He was just trying different things, Fast forward, within 6 weeks, his spine healed itself, which was impossible. His spine healed itself, and the reports out there. And he was able to walk. He was using a cane, and he had a full recovery. He's back to normal. So he started to study because he made a promise with God or life, whatever was there. He says, listen, if I heal myself from this, I'll spend the rest of my life figuring out how I did it. And now it's been like 20 years he's been doing this. People come to him saying, I'm blind. The blind can see again at his seminars. People in wheelchairs are walking. People with diseases that science has said there's no cure for you, it's humanly impossible, are getting healed. Now, even the science field, who are laughing at him first, are now coming to his events saying, okay, dude, what are you doing? Because 4 of my patients who I gave up on miraculously healed themselves in one sitting. What do you do? So he's pretty much teaching us what we know to do. People say you can heal yourself. How do you do it? So he's teaching people how to heal themselves without any pill, without having to go see a doctor. Of course, doctors, I respect them. You can do that. But if the medical profession fails you, his meditations have been proven. People who had men who are sterile, like, you can never have kids again. They do the work. Now they have kids. Women who are told, you're 60, you can never have a baby again. Has a baby at 60.
So it's through the power of meditation?
Meditation, you go into the quantum field. It's like it's combined with quantum physics, So it's a meditation where you go into the quantum. Like, people literally have left this meditation and said somehow $500,000 got deposited in my bank account. And they have the proof. Like, there's the deposit. I was working with a guy, and for fun, I was like, okay, can I attract abundance of money? Okay, let's go do the work. And there's a formula he teaches you how to do. And if you can follow the formula, like, people have literally gone in front and says, there, $500,000 was put in my bank account. A woman one time was visualizing money because she wanted money. True story. She goes to an ATM and money, I'm not kidding, starts coming out ATM for no reason. And she goes, what the hell? And she knew, and here's what's crazy. She felt so abundant that even though the money was falling out the ATM machine, she didn't even pick up a penny. And she went home. And she knew, I don't know what I did, but this Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, I locked into a frequency that I am so abundant that the ATM it malfunctioned right there and started just dropping $100 bills. And there's so many more stories, could go forever.
Some people could call that voodoo. You know what I mean?
The ones who are sleeping, yeah. The awakened ones like ourselves, I say, yeah, that's what Jesus was teaching back in the day. Jesus was like the guy who came to show us that, hey, you have the power to do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
But some people call that voodoo, 100%.
Also, how would you say it could be dangerous too? Because if a person, let's say, has stage 4 cancer, right? Instead of going to a doctor, that person will go to Dr. What's his name? Sorry?
Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Joe Dispenza, and say, hey, cure me. People could...
No, he doesn't cure you. Because what happens, those people who went to him are the ones that the medical profession failed. Like, we don't know what to do. And this person, like I'm talking to you now, just happened to hear about a Dr. Joe Dispenza, and someone spoke about being cured of cancer. And they go like, okay, I got nothing to lose. Let me go. So when you're doing his meditation, he doesn't touch you. There's like 2,000 people there, by the way. So he doesn't even know who you are. He just teaches you how to do it. It's a week-long retreat. You stay in the meditation, and he's teaching you step by step how to raise your energy, how to feel whatever it is you want, And people have left his retreat saying, my spine was like this since I was a baby, and now it's aligned. What happened? That's why now his work, it's like I'm talking about it, and you're going to probably research who is this Dr. Joe guy. And his work is just spreading like that right now.
Is it free?
To go for the online is free, but to go for the retreats, no, it's not free for the retreats. You got to pay for those.
Well, why do I need to go pay if I can get it for free online?
Because if I give you something for free, for me, I actually told my friend what he charges for his work is like giveaway, Because you know how human beings are. If I give you this for free, it has no value. So, but when you pay, it's only $2,000 too, huh? There's not like VIP. It's literally $2,000. You go, you sit in the meditation, you learn the work. He teaches you everything you got to learn. It's a week long though. It's a week long of teaching and teaching and teaching. And yeah, just go from there. People have seen stuff happen. I'm like, I've done his work and stuff has happened before at home. I'm like, how did that happen?
I mean, $2,000 for you with a rich family is easy, but some people can't afford $2,000.
You'd be amazed. I've seen people who, through his work, came in as skeptics. There's a guy who used to have anxiety attacks. He came in as a huge skeptic. Like he hated Dr. Joe, but he's like, I need something. Let me go try this. He says, let me go try this scam artist meditation out. Day 3, the guy was in his hotel room. No anxiety attack. Every day he gets 3 anxiety attacks. Day 4, no anxiety attack. Day 5, day 6, day 7. 2 months later, 0 anxiety attacks. And that's why when people say, who's Dr. Joe, I say, you got to look up his work.
I mean, yeah, anxiety attack could be quote unquote cured through meditation, whatever else you have to do. But if we start talking about cancer or blindness, that's a different situation.
Very different. That's why when he started, a lot of people started writing articles about him. Oh, you're fake. You got to stop. And he almost quit doing what he was doing. And then as you study his work, he talks about what happened. He had a mystical moment and stuff like that. Because he even says, he's like, he was a doctor. So he even says,
like a medical doctor?
Like he studied medicine. So he even says, I encourage my patients, go see a doctor. So the ones he gets are the ones who, like, for example, yourself today, God forbid, you got cancer and your doctor says, listen, man, you have 1 month left to live. You're stage 4. We don't know what to do. We're giving you chemo. It's not working. We're giving you pills. It's not working. Go try this Dr. Joe Dispenza guy. So those are the people he gets, the worst of the worst. All right, let's do the work. Sit down for meditation. Let's go. And he guides you through it and you heal yourself.
And how long have you been studying him?
2 years now.
2 years.
Yeah, because I saw stuff happen in my life that I couldn't explain. Then I knew, like, okay, this guy is onto something.
Yeah, that's what keep you going.
Something, because stuff happens. It's like a mystical thing happens. You're like, what? That happened? Okay, clearly this guy's work.
Like what?
Clients pop out of nowhere. Business just went up out of nowhere one day. I'm sitting at home. Business takes off. Attract people into my business. Clients come into my business. Attract friendships, relationships, that kind of stuff.
Positive ones.
Yeah, but like they came like that. Not like 3 months. I'm talking you come out the meditation, check your phone. Whoa, that was fast. You know what I mean? Like pretty much I'll get a text from someone that takes me 2, 3 months to get. But out of nowhere, you come on a meditation. Hey, listen, I've been looking through your profile for the last 2 months. I need your help with this, this, this. And you're like, coincidence? But when you have so many of them happen, synchronicities, you go like, I did something to make that happen.
Yeah, you're right there. I want to talk about something else. You mentioned about gratitude.
Okay.
How important is feeling gratefulness to you?
It's everything. I believe there's intellectual gratitude and there's heartfelt gratitude. And I think we're programmed to be thankful, just thank you, but not go within. So I realized this is like last month, I stopped being grateful, or if I did it was before I go to bed, I'd be like, thank you for this, thank you for this, thank you for this, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, off to bed, nothing happens. But when I took the time, no matter how tired I was, because I believe this power, God, life, universe, it sees your effort. It's a loving intelligence, whatever you want to call it. It sees your effort, no matter how tired you are. But I'd really go into a heartfelt gratitude. So, for example, today I could be like, thank you for the podcast, and I'll give my reasons why in my head, right? But then I go within and really feel that gratitude. I believe gratitude can cure you of whatever you're going through. Gratitude can cure everything. So I believe people should practice real gratitude more.
How? Teach them.
Go heart center. So when you're grateful, for example, Dr. Joe's work, they did the study. They got the blood from some people. If you practice real gratitude, it's going to increase your IGF levels in 3 days by over 50%. When your IGF levels are up,
What's IGF?
That's immune insulin. I forget the abbreviation.
Okay.
But it's your body's immune system. You raise your immune system. So people, when they start to practice gratitude, number one is it's going to help boost up the immune system. They've done the studies. Everybody knows about that now. But number two, I believe it connects you to source, to God, whatever it is, But real gratitude, whereas it gets you emotional. I always say gratitude should be emotional, You don't have to cry, but you want to feel a shift in your energy, Because if you do gratitude and you feel angry after, nothing happened, But if I could sit here with this tea and really be like, I'm grateful for this tea. Why? Because I know a kid in Africa who doesn't have this kind of cup. Trust me. And I feel that this power knows, you're right. And guess what? You think that's cool? Watch this. I'll give you more. That's why I believe it works.
It is. I learned that a few years ago, that to be grateful is the key to happiness.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yes.
Tony Robbins says you can't be angry and grateful at the same time. It's impossible.
Yeah, you're right. But do you meditate every day, or how's your process? Now,
because of COVID, I was going to say thank God for COVID, but I think COVID is a blessing. Every morning I get up now, I meditate. Every morning I get up, I meditate now. It's hard because I do an hour-long meditation, Dr. Joe's work.
Hour long?
Yeah, and that's why I say Dr. Joe's work is very powerful, but it really it pushes you out of your comfort zone, So we're used to 5 minutes. I go an hour long every day. I sit up, I go do my meditation every morning.
Is it a moving meditation or?
Oh no, you sit still. Like you sit still and you don't move. You just focus on those energy centers. Sometimes I go to the quantum field. Like I'll focus on the thing that I want to create, that kind of stuff.
Have you tried drugs?
Drugs? Never. Let's go weed a drug.
Well, no, that doesn't count.
Now, I did mushrooms once, like 8 years ago. That was about it.
And how do you compare that to your meditation?
Well, when I did the mushrooms, I didn't know what I was doing. I took 5 grams of mushrooms. Nobody told me how much to take. You see what I mean? I didn't know. It was my first time. My friend who at the time was a drug dealer. Well, he actually wasn't a drug dealer. He just had the mushrooms. I got here, dude, I never tried mushrooms before. He's like, I got you. Here you go. I'm like, how many do I take? And back then I was bigger, I was really I was like 220 pounds. Now I'm like 180. Yeah, I'm like 180, 190 now. He looks at me, he goes, you're a big guy. I just take 5 grams. Oh yeah, just take 5 grams. Okay. Put it on the pizza, 5 grams of mushrooms.
Did you see God?
Probably. If someone said see God, I've never been so high in my life. That's why I don't do mushrooms no more. I would do them again, but I'd be very careful. I was tripping out. Yeah.
So, I don't know if you'd mind me asking, do you still smoke weed?
No, I'm not a weed. I smoked so much weed from Ottawa until I moved to Montreal that I think I smoked enough to last me a lifetime. I smoked so much weed. Like every day I was smoking like 7 grams a day on average.
Mm.
Yeah, so like now I could smoke it, but I don't see the point anymore. Because it's funny, I was watching Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. He was saying something the other day. He actually quit smoking weed for 6 months and nobody knew. And I remember I was like, Nipsey Hussle stopped smoking weed, but that's stuff you never see on TV. Like I saw the interview. He's like, yeah, when I was getting all these calls from these big offices, executives, Puma, I started realizing that they're watching me online. And if they meet me and I'm high, these rich white folks might not want to do business with me because of this. So for 6 months, he stopped smoking weed. I was like, if that guy could stop smoking weed, heck, thank God I stopped. So that's why I rarely, like if someone right now offered me a joint, I'll say no.
So you're completely sober?
Not completely. Like for me to smoke, it's a special occasion for me to smoke.
Do you drink?
Like it has like here and there. I'm not a drinker, but if you give me a beer now, I'll drink one.
So I think we're getting there. Do you have any topics that would you like to talk about that we haven't talked about?
I think people should start to, if they want to change their life, is just know that you're programmed. And when I say programmed, there's this little demon you know as a paradigm. A paradigm is something you do habitually. I learned that from Bob Proctor. And all your habits are habitual, meaning you do them without even thinking. How you get up in the morning is a program. So you get up in the morning. This might sound silly, I told a friend, but when you get up in the morning, your right leg probably touches the floor first, your left leg. It's every day. When you go to the bathroom, you probably take 10 steps to get to the bathroom. When you brush your teeth, use your right hand, wash your face. See, it's a program, but it's not bad. But there's a lot of things we do in our life, little habits that are in that program as well. So I believe if people could start to ask the question, do I like how my life is going right now? No, I don't like how my life is going right now. Okay, good. Have you tried to change it? Yes. Let me guess, you're being positive. Yes. Okay. You're not being very positive because nothing's changing. You're probably being more negative, you know? So I tell people is, pure consciousness is being aware of how you think, feel, act, and talk. So just being aware that, look, if nothing's changed in the last 2 years, it means nothing about you has changed. Clearly, the positive thinking is not working. You have to maybe get uncomfortable a little bit, start to take action that's going to scare you a little bit. And it will be scary, you know. Even myself today, every day I'm battling change. I'm careful of the inner chatter in my brain, you know, which is a struggle because in the beginning was the word, and that's all in the Bible, you know. So I believe that's a metaphor for be careful what you say, because they did a study. You know, there's a guy on Tom Bilyeu's Impact Theory I watched. He said, whenever people say something vocally, say it out loud, there's a 50% chance it's going to happen. And they did a study where they were telling stories, and I'm like, he's right. So even if you have a bad feeling or hunch about something, I'm not saying don't express it, but just be careful where you place your energy, you know? So I'll tell anybody right now, if you really want to change, you want to get a paper and write one habit you want to develop for the next 30 days that's going to help you become a better person. So maybe it's when you wake up in the morning, you want to do 5 push-ups. Just do it just to break the program, you know? It's just something to make you be aware that, holy crap, usually at 9 a.m. I'm doing this happens, because at the end of January, I told myself and everybody this, we could probably look at your bank account statement or your relationships or this, be exactly the same. At the end of 2021, we could probably look at your life. It would probably be the same. 2022, nothing will change. When the change comes, it's because something traumatic happened, maybe something that really shook you. Like, okay, it's time for me to change, you know? So even myself too, I tell people, like, I'm not perfect. Like every day I'm battling change. You know, I'm a very lazy person. I know it already, you know, I like to chill. But every day I'm battling change, you know, just saying, okay, this is me and it's going to take some time for me to change, but I'm doing it slowly. You know, wake up in the morning, meditate, gratitude, read. Okay, next month, February, I'll do something a little bit different. Meditate, gratitude, read, add something else to it. And then slowly it's going to become who I am.
Yeah, incremental changes.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that idea.
Do too much, you crash. Exactly. So if you do too much, you crash.
Yeah, exactly. Don't think that you're gonna scale the Mount Everest in one day. Exactly. It's not gonna happen, homie.
Nah, you're gonna crash. You know.
You know, I like 100%. That idea. That like, okay, pretty much one day at a time.
One day at a time. And I believe people should set little goals. What do I want to do in the morning when I wake up? You know, do I want to brush my teeth with my left hand? It's going to be weird. And guess what? That's how change is weird. If you use your left hand to brush your teeth, do that for 7 days. It's going to make you conscious. Okay, for the next 7 days, I'll make a conscious decision to only use my left hand when I'm eating, when I'm drinking. Those little tricks make you just become more aware. Like, wait a minute, what did I do today? Holy crap, I did the same thing I did yesterday. Because 95% of who you are today is who you were yesterday. You're only 5% conscious. Only 5% of you is conscious today. So if you could just start left hand this, left hand this, left hand that, and know that it's going to get uncomfortable. By day number 2 or 3, the program comes back and says, yo, bro, what are you doing? No, right hand. Let's go back to who we were. Then you realize, shit, to change is going to take some work,
It is a lot of work. That's why a lot of people fails.
Mm-hmm.
Like a good example is for you, like you being a fitness coach. I'm pretty sure you have had clients that have failed and succeeded, obviously.
My God. A lot of them. Yeah, like I've had like a lot of people as well who failed. Even myself too. I've failed. Not failed. I've just done stuff that's helped me grow to become a better person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's put it that way. I've done stuff that's helped me to become a better person. Because I don't believe in failure. I just believe you try, it didn't work, try again.
I like that.
Yeah, exactly.
You seem to read a lot of books, and other than the doctor's book, are you reading anything else?
Tony Robbins, I'm reading. Actually, I haven't read him for a while. I should read him tonight. Tony Robbins and Dr. Joe right now, because I believe I used to be the guy that would read a lot of books to be smart, and then started Guru the other day said, see, a lot of people are gonna, before they go for lunch or dinner with their friends, they're gonna Google, oh, how many planets are there? Oh my God, there's 10 of them, and they're gonna go to dinner to their friends. Do you know there's 10 planets? Just to be smart, But that's it. So I was like, man, that used to be me, buying all these books, reading them, but nothing was changing. Nothing tangible was changing. So I remember Bob Proctor said, he's like, we're programmed to go to school, gather all the information here, take a test, and that means you're smart. And then I was like, yeah. But then he said, learning is when you can entertain one idea, get emotionally involved with it, take action, change the result. And then Bob said he's been reading that book, Think and Grow Rich, for the last 60 years. And he says sometimes he can read a book for 5 months. And I was like, if Bob Proctor could read a book for 5 months, who the hell am I to read a book in 30 days? Then one of my friends said, well, I could do that. And then a voice in my head said, everybody is different. Some people just are quick. Some people are slower. So one of my friends always says, know your strengths, know your weaknesses. So I knew, okay, my weakness is I can't retain a lot of information fast, but I'm good at analyzing things. I can give me a page, I could analyze that for a month and break it down in so many ways, So I realized, okay, my strength is not accumulating information. It's reading slower, understanding when I'm reading these books, and that's how it is now. I read 1 book a month, 2 books a month now, average.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you only read specific genre, or it varies?
It has to be something to change me. No offense, people that read fiction books. I'm just not a big fan of fiction. I think it's boring. But some people like that, I just read stuff that's going to help me to become better. How can I change the energy in my body? Okay, I believe there's many ways. You can go for a run, go for a jog. Or now, what could I do? I can't go outside. Well, meditate. Go within.
Yeah. The hardest part, though.
Yeah, it's not easy. I told people this, like when you start to really meditate, I've never met anyone that's been consistent for 30 days straight. Never. Maybe 1 or 2. 30 days straight, the program kicks in. This morning I woke up, I was like, it's 7 a.m. I gotta meditate. I don't want to. And then I was aware that's the program. And guess what? That was the best meditation I ever had.
It's awesome because you push yourself and you make it work.
Yeah, and then I got an insight too. I was like, wait, what was that I felt? And I did some research. I'm like, thank God I did the meditation today.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I think we're there. But do you have any last remarks for the listeners?
Start to read. If you hate reading, surround yourself with positive people. If you have no friends, just start playing something positive in the background nonstop. Stop playing music for the next 7 days, 14 days. If your life sucks that much, if you're going through depression and you can't go do Vipassana, just play something positive in the background or reach out to someone and get help. That's what I always say, I believe help is only a call away. For myself, if I'd gone through with it, clearly I wouldn't be here today. And I reached out, I got help. I reached out to somebody and the person helped me and I'm here today.
Wise word from a wise man. Again, Rome, thank you for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
For sure, man. Thank you for having me, man.
Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Again, Rome, thank you for coming on the podcast. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, listeners, for continued listening. This is Aaron Deliosa for An Immigrant's Life. I'll see you guys later.